Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode in our TNA What If series in TEW 2020. I, of course, am CR Daredevil, and what a show we have for you here. It is the Go Home Impact for Slammiversary. A lot of crazy things happening heading into this coming Sunday, where it will be one hell of a show, honestly. A lot of crazy stuff happening this Sunday for that show. Before we get on with too much, though, let's dive into the action, where tonight we have a big time 10-person tag main event. That's right, you heard me. It is going to be a 5-on-5 tag team main event, as it will be Team Dixie, Abyss, EC3, Rockstar Spud, Mickie James, and the TNA World Heavyweight Champion Magnus, taking on their opponents this Sunday in tag team action. Their opponents being Samoa Joe, Paul London, Eric Young, Madison Rain, and AJ Styles. That's going to be a huge 10-person tag main event, that is, and so much more. So let's get into the action. In front of 4,033 people at the Icebox in Nebraska, we open up with a Magnus promo in the ring, where he talks about this Sunday he defeats AJ Styles, and you will have to start considering him to be the greatest TNA champion ever. The greatest champion that this company has ever had in the history of its existence. He says that he has defeated all and then some, and this Sunday, when he defeats AJ Styles, you will have to continue to consider him the greatest TNA champion of all time. This brings out AJ. Styles says that there has been a lot of TNA champions in the history of this company. A lot of great names to hold that championship, and he's not even talking about himself. You know, he says that guys like Kurt Angle have held that championship. Guys like Sting have held that championship. As much as he doesn't fully agree with the guy, guys like Jeff Jarrett have held that championship. He says there's been a lot of other great names who have held that championship. So if Magnus wants to be known as the greatest TNA champion of all time, he's got a hell of a lot of work to do. But you know what? He will agree with Magnus on something. He says that if Magnus can defeat AJ Styles this Sunday, maybe he is one step closer to becoming the greatest TNA champion of all time. The problem is that Magnus will not be defeating AJ Styles this Sunday at Slammiversary. He says that he is better than Magnus, and that he's going to come and get his championship back this Sunday. A little bit of a heated confrontation between the two, but officials come down to keep them separated before anything blows out of proportion. So nice little promo before this Sunday. 77 rating for the segment. Gained heat for the storyline, which is great. Magnus improvised well, which is good. Surprisingly, I guess not super surprisingly. I mean, he has been kind of winning a lot. But surprisingly, Magnus is, outside of Taz, because Taz is our color commentator at this time, outside of Taz, Magnus is our only major star in the company right now. I don't know how the hell that happened. He definitely wasn't a major star just a few weeks ago. So he suddenly has risen up to major star status, which is absolutely crazy. It's really cool. I mean, my only wrestling major star is the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. So obviously that's, a good way to push the champion. But it's just kind of crazy because AJ Styles is only a star level. He's not at major star level. Same with Joe and Abyss and a lot of the other big name guys you are in the company right now. So it's kind of funny that our only major star right now is our World Heavyweight Champion. We move on from this to an opening contest that sees Jay Lethal defeat Chris Hero in 11:54 by pinfall with a flying elbow drop. 62 rating for the match. Really good match there between these two. 55 from Chris Hero, 56 from Jay Lethal. Except for the main event, I think every other match so far tonight, or every other match tonight, is featuring people who aren't competing this Sunday. Um, just because I just wanted to do it that way. Um, so you know, these two don't really have much for them right now, but you know, they are kind of penciled into some stuff in the future. Chris Hero needs to get his popularity up a little bit to really get going into anything. I mean, his in-ring performance, as you can tell, is really good, but his popularity is still kind of rough. So I need to kind of build him up a little bit more popularity-wise before I can really do a whole lot with him that I'm hoping to do before he decides to retire. Which in this game could be any day now. I mean, I think he's 38 at this point. And TNA loves to just have people in their late 30s, early 40s just start retiring out of nowhere. So, but anyway, Jay Lethal gets the victory in a great back and forth contest here to open up the wrestling portion of Impact tonight. Then after that, we have a hype promo, which gained heat for the storyline, which is awesome. We have a hype promo, a three-way knockouts tag match at Slammiversary. The beautiful people talk about how they shouldn't even be involved in this because they don't know why Mercedes Martinez and Portia Perez decided to attack them. But if they have to get involved in this, then so be it. They're going to take it to the sisters, the Shirais, and then they're going to take it to Martinez and Perez and prove why the beautiful people is the greatest tag team in TNA. Io and Mio Shirai, they don't really say a whole lot. They have passable English right now. So we're kind of building off the idea that they don't know a whole lot of English right now. But they do say that this Sunday they will take down the bullies, they'll take down the beautiful people, and they will walk out the winners. And then Mercedes Martinez and Portia Perez kind of just start laughing before they say that they love these are all like separate segments, by the way, kind of all put together. But Martinez and Perez kind of laugh and say that they love the confidence that the beautiful people and the Shirais have over in this contest, because everybody knows that you can't stop a force as powerful as Mercedes Martinez and Portia Perez. They're going to go into the match this Sunday. They're going to run rampant over both teams, and they're going to emerge victorious. It's as simple as that. And then, you know, then we got the end of the video kind of showing like all three teams kind of just separate, like kind of focused on the screen, kind of a little bit of a matchups thing there. So 39 rating, again, could have been better, but it did gain heat for the storyline, so I'm not going to complain about that. After that, 6-woman tag team action sees Veda Scott, Brooke Tessmacher, and Gail Kim defeat ODB, Santana Garrett, and Candice LeRae in 10:38. When Gail Kim submits Candice LeRae with an octopus stretch, 51 rating for the match. Gail Kim and ODB still having their feud with each other, but they are not going to be in a match this Sunday. I have future plans for them at this point. So I just kind of throw them out there with some knockouts who aren't featured as much on television. And, you know, not a terrible match. Obviously, Gail Kim and ODB helped carry the match, but it's still not terrible nonetheless. Brooke Tessmacher with a 39, which is kind of better than I thought she was able to do. Veda Scott with a 37, Candice LeRae with a 29, although she was really off her game, and Santana Garrett with a 31. ODB with 53, and Gail Kim with a 54, so there you go. But, yeah, nice little 6-woman tag match here that sees the heels of Veda Scott, Brooke Tessmacher, and Gail Kim get the victory. Then after that, MVP has a promo where he says that last week Bobby Lashley challenged him to a match this Sunday, and you know what? He accepts. He accepts because he wants to prove to Bobby Lashley once again that he is better than Lashley. And maybe this time, Lashley will understand that MVP is in the business of hurt, and he's out to hurt Bobby Lashley. 63 rating for the match, or for this segment here. Gained heat for the storyline. Good stuff there. As MVP, very focused, determined, and ready to try to make an example of Bobby Lashley. We'll have to see if that ends up happening this Sunday. Then after that, tag team action in the Knockouts division. Didn't get a great rating, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Tailbar Wrestling Knox crowd heat. The Lucha Sisters defeat Allison Kay and Shaul Guerrero in 8:57 when Leva Bates pinned Shaul Guerrero with a dinner to go. 34 from Guerrero, 29 from Kay, 34 from Medium, and 35 from Leva Bates. So Shaul Guerrero, a little bit really good, or a little bit better in-ring performance than I expected as well. So I'm getting slightly surprised with a couple of the knockouts here tonight. But yeah, Lucha Sisters get a victory here. Not really much behind the reasoning behind this, however, just more of, just letting them get a victory here. Slightly was kind of slightly was kind of testing the possible chemistry between Kay and Guerrero. And it's good to know they don't have bad chemistry as a tag team. I don't know for sure if they're going to be, a permanent tag team heading forward. It might be just kind of like a here and there tag team, but kind of teasing the idea of the two working together. So we'll kind of see what happens. But Lucha Sisters with the victory here on Impact. Then after that, we have a little bit of a stare down between Madison Rayne and Mickie James. Plus heat for the storyline. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Got the crowd hotter. It got the hotness for the crowd back up again, really. But Madison Rayne kind of goes face to face with Mickie James at this point, and says that Mickie James may be a legend in this business, but she represents more of the past than she does the present. Mickie James is kind of already on the downhill slope of her career, whereas Madison Rayne is the current. She's the present. She is the face of the Knockouts division right now. And somebody coming in here like Mickie James, who's trying to force her way into a title match when she hasn't deserved or earned a title match, is pathetic and sick in her mind. But you know what? She gets it. She used to be that way. She used to be kind of a dastardly person, somebody that the people didn't like. So she understands it, but that doesn't mean that she's going to let it be. That she's going to let it succeed. That means that she's not going to sit there and let it take over and let Mickie James be the new Knockouts champion. Mickie just kind of laughs and says, "You honestly think that I'm on the downslope of my career? Honey, I'm Mickie James. I'm a legend in this wrestling business, and I still have plenty in the tank to go. And this Sunday, when I take the Knockouts championship away from you, you're gonna find out just how much I have left to go when I continue to reign upon the Knockouts division for months, nay, years to come." A little bit of a stare down between those two, kind of building up the match between the two of them this Sunday at Slammiversary. Then after that, bit of a brawling kind of matchup here. We have Rhino defeat Hernandez in 8:20 by pinfall with a gore. 55 rating for the match, 51 from Rhino, 44 from Hernandez. This will end up being Hernandez's last match for Impact Wrestling. I couldn't really dignify renewing his contract. He hasn't been that good in the ring. This 44 is only because this is a wild brawl match. Normally he would be, in the 30s, and I just can't come up with anything for him to do or anything like that. So I'm just letting him go. He can go do other things. And plus my roster's, I don't want to say super bloated, but it's a little bit hot. There's a little bit more people on it than I want right now. So Hernandez is going to be going, and then maybe a couple of people might be leaving Impact after Slammiversary. We'll kind of see, but yeah, Hernandez is going to be heading out, and he puts over Rhino on his way out. Rhino's still looking kind of impressive recently. He's still continuing to get victories. Like I said before, a lot of them have been an explosion, but he's been still continuing to get victories. He's been slowly kind of getting built up right now, so we'll have to see what ends up happening with Rhino in the near future. Then after that, a very good promo from Austin Aries here, who talks about his matchup with James Storm this Sunday, saying that Storm and Rude keep trying to get him to turn to the dark side, to embrace the darkness, all that kind of stuff. But he's going to continue to fight the good fight. He's going to continue to fight the way he is going to fight. He's not going to let them change his mind. He is going to be in control of himself. This brings out Beer Money. And Beer Money, they don't even bother saying anything. They just immediately attack Austin Aries. 2-on-1 beatdown happening. However, some familiar music hits, and out to make the save is Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson comes running in, fights off Beer Money, chases him off, and kind of helps Aries here as he kind of looks good. Kind of, you know, a nice way to kind of help him out there. However, he kind of gets on the mic really quick and says that he knows that Bobby Roode's going to be at ringside for that matchup this Sunday. He's got nothing going on, so he's going to be joining the fray. So he's going to be at ringside in Austin Aries' corner this Sunday for the match between Austin Aries and James Storm. So we'll have to see what's going to happen there. Not really sure what this connection between Mr. Anderson and Austin Aries is, but we'll have to see what ends up happening. See if there ends up being some sort of connection between the two men. 55 rating, though. Not too bad. Lost heat, but that's fine. Not too bad. And after that, 59 rated matchup. They had great chemistry, which is good stuff there. Decent matchup. Not much heat. Adam Cole defeats Xena Ion in 12-13 by pinfall to flying crossbody. 50 from both men. Great chemistry from them. I do want to check one thing really quick with the dirt sheet. Okay, good. Adam Cole, for some reason in this mod, has just very rough stamina. I think he's at like a 66 or 67, which is just really low, all things considered. So I wanted to run this 12-minute matchup hoping that he wouldn't get burnt out towards the end of it, and thankfully there wasn't any penalty there. So thankfully we can still, you know, get him in a longer matchup and slowly keep building up his stamina. But he does get the victory here over Xena Ion in 12-13 with a flying crossbody. I think I gotta get Xena Ion away from the bromans. He's kind of getting dragged down with them right now because I just don't have anything for them. But obviously his in-ring performance, he's worthy of something, whether it's, you know, at least a couple more matches a month, or, you know, maybe a couple segments a month, or even just a storyline or something like that. He deserves something. He just, being associated with the bromans right now is just bringing him down, because Jesse and Robbie E are just not good at all at this time in this mod. I've been kind of trying to build them up a little bit on Explosion. They're still mid-30 performances, if that. So, you know, I gotta figure out something for Xena Ion. I don't want to take the path of the original TNA series and put the X Division Championship on him. Well, not the original, but the one where the last time I tried to reboot it, and put the X Division Championship on him right now. But you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Anyway, 59 rating for the match. Good stuff there. After that, right before the main event, we have a promo from Christopher Daniels, which only gets a 59, which is very surprising. Usually Daniels is better than that in promo. But he has a promo where he says that he accepts Jeff Hardy's challenge. So it will be Jeff Hardy and Christopher Daniels this Sunday at Slammiversary. And he says that if Jeff Hardy knows what's good for him, he will lose to Christopher Daniels so that Daniels can truly save his soul. 59 rating there. And we move on to the main event. Big 10-person tag team matchup. They get 67. That's not too bad. That's not too bad, honestly. As Team Dixie versus the Faces, if you will. The whole match gets thrown out in 14:41. It says by double count out. Essentially, referee completely loses control of the situation, and it leads to the end of Impact with just a big old brawl happening. AJ head and shoulders above everybody else, obviously. But we did gain heat for all of the storylines except for the TNA one, the TNA champion one, but that's fine because that was already pretty high as it is. Abyss and Joe seemed off their game, which kind of sucks, but that's all right. So nice crazy little way to head into Slammiversary with 4 matches being represented in this, and just a big old brawl happening with everyone involved. Impact this week gets 68. Increase our popularity in 9 regions. I'll take it. I will take it for sure. Yeah, pretty excited about that. That was pretty good stuff there. We're gonna keep seeing things get built up from there. All right. This is just kind of stupid funny. Um so going to look at my stuff really quick before I showed the results, and what do you know? I have an incident involving Sean Hernandez. Turns out he's a steroid user. He has 2 days left on his contract. We're just gonna fine him. I don't really care if he gets irritated or not. He didn't get irritated, so. But I mean, he's out of here in 2 days anyway, so that part doesn't matter. I want to put that up really quick. Uh-oh. Huh. All right. Well, before I show you what happened on Explosion and show you the TNA or the Impact ratings thing, turns out we have a little bit of a contract battle on our hands because WWE is interested in one of our talents. They're interested in Brooke Adams, aka Brooke Tessmacher. So we may have to go do a little bit of a battle with Brooke to keep her if we decide to. Honestly, I do kind of want to keep her. I don't plan on like pushing her to being, knockouts champion or something like that in the future, but I still want her kind of be, especially now that I know she's a 39 in-ring performance, that's pretty good. But even then, like I still have kind of always kind of planned for her to be still in the knockouts division regardless. And at the same time kind of, doing other things there. So I'll probably try to keep her. Try to see if I can re-sign her and all that without going too overboard with our stuff, especially since Dixie's still in charge of the company, so she's going to limit me on how much I can spend on Brooke anyway. So we'll see what happens there. But as you see here, Explosion happened. We are going to be starting to show Explosion from now on the show, or in the episodes, so you guys can see what's happening over there. Nothing storyline really happens, although this episode did have an ODB promo about Gil Kim, and it also had our tag team champions with a promo before this Sunday's match against the Motor City Machine Guns. The reason why I did it on Explosion and not Impact is because I already had Impact kind of booked, and there wasn't enough room, and I really didn't want to get rid of something on that show. And because it gave fans a reason to tune into Explosion. As you'll see, the matches did not do that great, but that's because the matches are between unimportant talent. Because that's what I'm doing on Explosion. I'm trying to build them up because it doesn't matter if our show rating gets affected there. All of those broadcasters that you see there, they all say that we have to do a minimum quality of 11 or like right around there for our show. So I'm not too worried about our show rating. I want to keep building up our talent by featuring them there. So that's why a lot of like our unimportant talent wrestle on the show. Occasionally we'll have a recognizable talent wrestle on there, but most of the time it's the unimportant talent. And that's why you see Zima Ion defeating Tigre Uno in the main event of Explosion there. Match rating's not doing it great, but it's kind of what it is. It is kind of what it is there. Ratings for the night. Impact once again way up on top when it comes to viewers, and up on top when it comes to the show rating itself, which is, like I've mentioned, the one I'm actually paying attention to more. Ring of Honor had the second best show of the night. Main evented by Elijah Burke and Scott Steiner defeating Fire Ant and Delirious, which is kind of weird. Also had an interview with Bully Ray, so that's kind of cool for him, I guess. NXT had the third best show of the night, and it featured Decimation defeating the Dynamite Duo to retain the tag team titles. I don't remember which is which. I always say this every time, and I don't remember which is which. So Yoshi, Tatsu, and Alex Riley are Decimation, which makes Leo Kruger and Sami Callihan, or Solomon Crow, I guess, Dynamite Duo. So there's that, I guess. Sure, why not? Anyway, enough of that. It is in the books, and it is time to move on from there. So the next time you see a video in this series, it will be Slammiversary 2014. And just as a fun little thing here, just to make sure. Okay, cool. Just make sure, I want to make sure that nothing got spoiled by me putting it on there, because I couldn't remember if I finalized all the matches or not. So just to quickly run down the show in no particular order, it is the triple threat knockouts tag team matchup, the Sexy Purple Thunder Sisters versus the Beautiful People versus Mercedes Martinez and Portia Perez. That should be a very interesting matchup. Tag team titles on the line as the Motor City Machine Guns challenge Jimmy Jacobs and Colt Cabana. We have the Knockouts Championship on the line as Mickie James challenges Madison Rayne. We have a match between MVP and Bobby Lashley. We have the Ultimate X match, or as you'll see here in a second when I click on it, the Overhead Wires match, because for some reason this mod didn't have Ultimate X in it, so we're using the Overhead Wires match that is in here. As Paul London defends the X Division Championship against Rockstar Spud, Eric Young, and EC3. We have Christopher Daniels versus Jeff Hardy, where if Jeff Hardy loses, then he is forced to join up with Bad Influence and let Daniels be his quote-unquote savior. Oh, I didn't add the other, that's what the other one I was missing. I was like looking at that for a second, I'm like, wait, I'm missing a match in here. We are missing James Storm versus Austin Aries. Of course, Mr. Anderson set to be at ringside for Austin Aries, set to try to fight off Bobby Roode should he get involved in that matchup. We have Abyss versus Samoa Joe in the Asylum matchup. We'll have to see what exactly that means this Sunday and see how it all ends up playing out in that rubber match between these two. And then, of course, what'll easily be the main event of the evening. For the TNA World's Heavyweight Championship, it will be Magnus defending against AJ Styles. That's going to be exciting show for sure. 9 matches on the card. Probably another match or two that'll get added to it. We'll see. But enough of my rambling. Thank you all for watching. Definitely appreciate it. Hopefully you guys are excited for Slammiversary this Sunday. And we will see you all in a future video.